Just before this video gets going, I do want to mention that I have a Discord server. Join if you want to, suggest new video ideas, or come hang out with us. And if you like what you see here today, you'll like pretty much everything else on my channel, so why not subscribe? Thanks. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. It's another day, so we have some more idiots to address here. But before that, I do want to give you guys a quick thank you. Over the past 2 weeks that I've been gone, we've grown a lot. I'm really happy at how far the channel has come, and that's thanks in part to you guys. And now we're sitting at just under 200 subscribers from 10,000. So thank you. Seriously, it means a lot. Now, with that being said, I think the CoryxKenshin drama has gotten a little bit worse, as you might have already guessed by the title. And yes, I'm talking about the CoryxKenshin situation that we covered about a month ago, almost 2 months ago now, where Cory's ex, Panda Ninja, essentially came to everyone on Twitter and TikTok telling people about how bad Cory was as a boyfriend and that he was an abusive ex and this, that, and the third. She said a bunch of stuff, made a bunch of accusations, and I say accusations because she had no proof essentially to back up these claims. The only thing that she really had was a video of him joking around with her, which nobody took seriously at all, as well as some Xbox and Discord messages that really didn't prove anything. The one issue that I and other people had with this situation is that other people, the kind of fake fans, they kind of ran with this whole SA sentiment, even though Panda Ninja never even said anything about that. Then again, from what she posted on TikTok and Twitter, even before she said it wasn't SA, it just kind of seemed like it was, so I guess that's why people thought it would be something that serious. In spite of that, she's now back, this time with Cory's ex-friend. He has a channel named MAVATTACK, someone who hasn't made a video in over 2 years, with I believe one of his last videos being about CoryxKenshin, saying that he was essentially cutting ties with him, and this is why he did that.
Alarming evidence these past few weeks, and I'm speaking in support of the victims who have recently come forward about some concerning behavior regarding a previous friend of mine who a lot of you may know as CoryxKenshin. Cory and I met in 2014 and soon after became best friends for years until I cut ties with him in 2023. In March of 2023, I released a video on my channel explaining a few of the reasons why he and I were no longer associating or going to be doing collaborations anymore, as I thought I was done creating videos for a few years but wanted to return to the MAVATTACK channel. The video was met with a lot of love and appreciation for my contributions to our numerous collaborations throughout the years, as well as listening to my story and experience being best friends and business collaborator with one of the biggest creators on the YouTube platform. The response, however positive, brought a wave of harassment and toxic behavior to my comments, even going so far as to target my wife's social media accounts and the accounts of anyone looking to speak out in support of me simply expressing my truth. My video wasn't intended to badmouth or run a smear campaign against Cory, and in fact, I mentioned how I believed he was still a good person at the time. In the video from 2023, I mentioned details such as how I never cared about what he gained from his success, and I just wanted to enjoy time with the person I connected with before his channel truly blew up. I also expressed frustrations at the time and vented to a friend of mine who Cory had a previous fling with about how Cory wasn't interested in speaking publicly about people harassing his close friends and family during his long content breaks. This friend of mine at the time would post about Cory on a gossip website while mentioning me by name, which I felt I needed to come clean to Cory about. He forgave me for it. I just wanted to be free from the public thinking we were still close and hounding me, even up until that point, about where Cory was. While there were positive comments, I dealt with numerous forms of harassment. Harassment that included insults, threats against my safety, and even claiming that I was a white man trying to weaponize sympathy against a black man, which, if you knew me, you would know that I'm an ethnically ambiguous person of color. In my experience, this was an attempt to try and invalidate my identity, trauma, and personal experience as an individual who isn't afraid to be vulnerable and allow my emotions to come through regardless of the public perception. The same harassment I dealt with in the 2023 video is the same harassment I spent years dealing with prior, trying to make a business and name for myself, all while dealing with personal issues and being bombarded by comments harassing me about when Cory is going to return from one of his many lengthy breaks from YouTube. Part of my issues with Cory that were communicated and shut down by him were when he would step away from YouTube without updating his obsessed audience. I'd then reach out to ask him if he could post on social media saying he's okay and to leave his friends and family alone, which would always conclude with him saying that's just how he is. He was going to do what he wanted regardless of how much it would hurt the people he claimed to love and care for. A couple common misunderstandings taken from this video were that I never communicated with Cory about his breaks and the harassment I was facing, and instead posted it on the internet, when in reality, I spoke about it with him multiple times throughout the years, even expressing it in YouTube videos, which are all up on my channel. The public wanted to run with the narrative that Cory was the one who cut off the connection interaction with me, when in fact, I was the one that cut ties with him because I had had enough.
I'm not gonna lie, this guy kind of sounds like a jealous ex. Like, especially with that last part, man. I'm gonna be real with you for a second. I've said this before, especially when talking about CoryxKenshin, but I say the same thing for literally anybody else who takes a break on YouTube. This man doesn't owe you anything, okay? He can take a break whenever he wants. He doesn't have to alert anybody to his whereabouts or where he's going, what he's doing. And it's kind of weird that you would even, I guess, call your friendship into question because he doesn't want to address the audience that he has before he takes a break. Like, I don't know why that would be a reason for you to end a relationship or even a point for you to stand on. I don't know. That's kind of like some personal stuff. But this kind of just sounds like oh no, I broke up with him and he didn't break up with me. Like, let's be for real. You're a grown man. Let's just stop it, okay? Something else that also doesn't help MAVATTACK's situation is that, and remember, I don't always like bringing this stuff up because views aren't the entire story sometimes, but it seems like whenever he talks about CoryxKenshin, that's the only time his channel's really doing well, per se, especially for someone of his size. So it's really no wonder why the last 3 videos, which were all CoryxKenshin related, essentially bashing his channel for milking Cory for views or riding his coattails. And for a video titled The Hidden Life of CoryxKenshin, I mean, this really doesn't expose anything. It's all just hearsay at this point because there is no proof. And between you and Panda Ninja, you only show like 1 or 2 screenshots that we haven't seen before that still aren't crazy. I mean, you don't really expose anything.
Being just as affected as me, and in hindsight, it would have been easier to stop collaborating and cut ties with Cory earlier on, but when you believe things with your best friend are good, and you're working side by side together, it's hard to see the bigger picture and easier to tolerate the harassment. Once the internet was done reacting to my video in 2023, I thought that was the end of it. Regarding the recent assertion that came out from an ex-girlfriend of Cory's, I would like to first start off by saying I'm extremely saddened and hurt to hear that there are not only friends and family, but romantic relationships which were also impacted by Cory's selfish behavior. Recently, Panda Ninja, who was an ex-girlfriend of Cory's, spoke out about her time being with him on and off through the years from 2016 onward, providing videos, screenshots of text message conversations, and her perspective of their time together. I met Panda in August of 2017, where myself, Panda, and Cory all spent time in person. Not only did I meet Panda, but I got to see her and Cory's chemistry around each other. Based on my own personal conversations with Cory and my time around both him and Panda, I believe her account and confirm that the messages align with what I witnessed. I can confirm that the screenshots she provided when telling her story are in fact true, and Cory's behavior and language seen in the text messages are in fact real. Not only are they real messages, but what wasn't publicly shown in the text thread mentions my name as one of the people who Cory informed of his and Panda's relationship at the time. Once Panda's story blew up online, she faced multiple forms of harassment, such as doxing, and even received death threats for simply expressing her truth. Her story wasn't what many people claim to be a nothing burger, making videos disingenuously presenting Panda's story, showcasing a lack of care for a very serious circumstance. In Panda speaking out, she set forth the openness and strength for others with similar stories to step out of the shadows.
Yeah, Mav, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm pretty sure the reason why people didn't believe her or didn't take her side in this is because the screenshots that she showed were just Cory essentially trying to get some cheeks. And I also don't know if you heard about this other situation or not, but I covered this too when it happened. Some of you guys might remember when Cory got in trouble, or in quotations, I guess, got in trouble for looking at a girl's cheeks after she did his hair. A lot of people on TikTok were trying to cancel him for that stuff. It was really weird and immature. But this Panda Ninja situation was essentially that, but on a bigger scale. And another reason why people were still going after her, say like a week and a half after everything died down, was because she not only walked back everything that she said, but she also deleted every other post about Cory on her TikTok. Pretty much every other post on her page, it was like vacant essentially. And she apparently also admitted that she had a different perspective after watching some other guy's TikTok on the situation. But I guess now that you're in this with her, she literally just put everything else back up on her TikTok again. So I don't really know what we're doing here. Are you gonna leave it up on your TikTok, or are you gonna take it down? What are we really doing here? Okay, so now is where we get into the Panda Ninja part, and oh my gosh. I don't think she could have made the situation any worse. Like, genuinely.
Thank you, Mav. I'm Panda, also known as Panda Ninja, the one you mocked, misquoted, and tried to bury under your projections. Guess what? I'm still here. Surprised to see us in the same video? Yeah, we figured. Instead of letting strangers rewrite the story, we're saying it ourselves. Direct and unfiltered. Awkward, isn't it?
Awkward, isn't it? Turn the camera off, bro. What was really awkward to me was that you used a bacon avocado meme to come out about this whole situation on TikTok.
You weren't ready for this. This isn't about canceling him. It's about accountability. Canceling erases people. Accountability forces them to face what they've done. If that feels like canceling, that's because nobody's ever held him accountable before. Here's the truth. He didn't need to put his hands on me to leave scars. He punished with silence. He messed with my head. Gaslit, love bomb, disappeared, then spun the story to make me look unstable. That was control. The way he treated me left me feeling mentally and emotionally abused. It wasn't just me. Others around him felt it too. Everybody swears they care about mental health until it's right in front of them. You can't claim to fight for it while weaponizing it against survivors. That's not support, and it's why so many shut up and suffer in silence. And no, I didn't post every detail. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. It means I was protecting myself from him and from the internet circus that never shuts the fuck up.
So let me get this straight. You purposefully withheld information that could have cleared up your end of the story a lot more than you did, and you're wondering why a certain group of people in Cory's audience, which number 20 million by the way, came after you. Right, but instead you show some of the most useless pieces of quote-unquote evidence, which essentially amounted to him joking with you while you guys were walking down the hallway, and him being horny. Like, what are we really doing, man? What are you talking about?
Also, y'all ran with some essay shit I never even said. Not once, not hinted at all. But because reading is hard and critical thinking is extinct, you turn your own fake headline into a whole narrative. I said he didn't do that. I repeated it. The fact I had to say it over and over proves you weren't listening. You were twisting on purpose. Just because it wasn't essay doesn't mean it wasn't abuse. Doesn't mean it didn't damage me. If that still doesn't click, you're not confused. You're willfully ignorant. And I'm not here to babysit anybody through common sense. Nobody told y'all to run like dumbasses making up storylines and believing lies. I don't owe anyone any updates. Especially not people who only show up for the drama. You don't want truth, you want content. And because I don't post on your schedule, suddenly I'm hiding or lying. Bitch, please. It means I'm not desperate for attention like the rest of you. The same people calling me a clout chaser are literally the ones posting shit for attention. Y'all made hate videos, ran your mouths, and tried to go viral off me, but somehow I'm the fucking problem. As if the damage he caused wasn't enough, then came the fake accounts. Thread after thread of lies, posts with words I never said, messages I never wrote. Some even claimed I edited conversations. Like, that makes sense. Y'all couldn't even tell the difference between Xbox and Discord, dude. Then you went and made a whole Xbox account, or maybe you just recycled the one you already had. Who even knows? Either way, the desperation was showing because nothing screams we've got truth like faking accounts and inventing posts. All that effort just to make someone innocent look bad just to protect a person you think matters more. Strangers who knew nothing were pretending to be credible witnesses. They didn't solve anything. They just put his toxic fan base on display. And the funniest part, you call me weird, but nothing's weirder than strangers spending hours creating lies about someone they don't even know. You two, tell me again, who's weird?
Girl, you came out to literally everyone in public and said all this stuff and showed literally no evidence for it. All of the stuff that you're saying right now is just testimony. Like, it's not provable at all. You have to have screenshots, videos of some sort, but you showed nothing. If you ask me, you're the weird one, right along with anybody else you're talking about trying to act as a credible witness when they don't know anything. Then again, I also feel like you're partly to blame. You should have done a better job at getting evidence before you came out like this. He has 20 million followers. What did you expect?
And the worst part, he chose to sit back and let it happen. This is the man who calls himself a Christian. He allowed harassment to happen in his name. He stayed silent while others did the fighting for him, and he built a brand on values he never lived by. Christian on Sunday, manipulator every other day. Tell me, what's Christian about that, fucking coward? And don't get it twisted. Bringing up his religion isn't crazy. He built that image himself, wore it like armor, used to sell himself as someone pure and untouchable. This isn't about belief. It's about behavior that never lined up with the values he claimed to represent. There's a difference. You don't have to believe me. Truth is, most of you never wanted to. You dragged me before I even had the chance to speak. And let's be real, nobody else came forward because they saw exactly how I was treated. They stayed quiet out of fear. And I can't blame them, really. When I went on lives to explain pushing through stress just to be heard, y'all ignored the words and clowned how I spoke. Like, that's what mattered. Let me spell it out for you since most of you clearly don't know me. Stress triggers medical conditions I live with. When my anxiety spikes, I stutter, always have, and I also deal with chemo brain, lasting side effect of cancer treatment that messes with memory and speech. That's why I chose to write. Even then, it wasn't enough. You guys complained, mocked me, you picked apart like my pain was entertainment, like I was nothing more than a sideshow for you to tear down. Some of you even said I was writing in poems. Let's be real. I write better than half of you stupid ass people anyway. Y'all just uneducated and just don't know how to do shit or read for that matter. I didn't do this for you. I did this for myself, for every person he damaged and tossed aside like they were nothing. You don't know me. You don't know who I've stood with, who I've buried pieces of myself for, or how deep the scars run from people like him. You don't even know the basics, my color, my food, my grind, my bloodline. Instead, some of you were ignorant enough to decide I must be white just because I'm light-skinned. Like somehow that would make it all less serious. Like the damage wouldn't matter if you could erase my culture out of the story. That's racism. That's ignorance.
Yeah, at this point, I don't even know what she's waffling about anymore. What are you even talking about? Point is, you came out publicly and said, hey, this big YouTuber and I were romantically involved. He mentally abused me. He didn't sexually abuse me. And here's some screenshots and a bacon avocado meme to prove it. That's it, guys. Believe me or you're the problem. Unfortunately, some people did believe you, to which then they would go on to tweet, oh, I never liked CoryxKenshin from the start. I always knew there was something wrong with him. It's people like that in situations like this that probably do make Cory want to take a break because it's mentally taxing. It happens literally every year. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you want more content similar to this, and I'll see you in the next one. Sub up, stay safe, and peace.